Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm not too bad. That was a great intro.
You felt good about that one?
Yeah, I really loved it.
Did I do a good job describing what you first loved about making videos? Like, what was it?
What I first loved about making videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just loved, I don't know. I've always just been drawn to the camera and like capturing moments and telling a story. So it's just been a thing.
You've always, you wanted to be a YouTuber when you were a kid?
Yeah, I for sure. I always wanted to be in like movies or TV, but then when YouTube became a thing, when I was like in like grade 5, grade 6, middle school, that's when YouTube really became huge. I knew that was what I wanted to do because it was just so accessible.
So you drop out of school, right?
Yeah, I dropped out. I did a semester.
Where?
Ottawa U for marketing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right on.
But then my YouTube channel was blowing up, and I decided I wanted to focus on that. So I decided to take a semester off.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone back.
How did that go with your folks?
My mom, both of them were like shocked at first because I did really well in school, so I was very academically driven. But my mom was very supportive. She says, whatever you want to do. And my dad was just a little concerned for sure. But now he totally understands it. It's because he just didn't understand like the whole YouTube world in that.
Well, yeah. I mean, when her parents were kids, when your parents were kids, there was no YouTube.
No.
So to them, it probably just seemed like the same thing.
Yes.
Staring into a camera.
It just like, it's like a kid from the older generation's perspective, obviously I understand what it looks like. It looks like just someone making little videos online.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. The on social media world has become a whole different thing. It's just insane now.
So tell me, like, how long does it take to make your videos? The ones I see are like between 4, 6, sometimes 8, 10 minutes. How long do they take you to make?
I'd say a solid week of like straight work. So like every day, every hour I'm working. So a week.
Do you see it as like a production? Do you see it as a full-on?
It's become a huge production at this point. Yeah, I keep raising the bar, and just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And part of this is giving so much of yourself in this too. I want to point out that you're not making YouTube videos about ants.
Yeah.
You know, you're not doing unboxing.
No, I'm not.
You was that a conscious decision that you wanted to reveal a lot of yourself in this?
Yeah, I just find my life. I don't know if this is narcissistic to say, but I find my life very interesting. I just find it's not me, it's the people in my life. I find them fascinating. They're all such characters to me. And I find that in any person you meet, you could turn them into a character. It might sound weird, but I don't know. And I like the idea of like showcasing that because I found my family especially very interesting, and they're very relatable, but also just so unique. Like you've never seen something like that before.
But Elle, you some of the most personal things a person can deal with. You talk about in these videos. Can I just play one? Take a listen to this.
Sometimes feelings are so strong they can't be repressed. I figured that out in Toronto. Meet Dion York, the first person I came out to, a person I had known for 55 minutes. We went out, and I might have had a little too much to drink. I almost made it to the club before I started crying. So Dion pulled me aside, and I told him everything. And he told me
who you are and who you're feeling this way for is something to be celebrated.
I went back to Ottawa the next day, and out came Emo Elle. Mom, I know you said I've been distant since I came back home in September. Now you know why.
That's a YouTube video with almost 4 million views, covered by news outlets all over the world, of you coming out.
Yeah, me coming out. That video has a video of me crying on my bedroom floor. Very odd that has almost 4 million views.
How do you decide? Let's start with how do you decide that this is how you want to come out?
I like making a statement. I don't know. I'm so bad at being vulnerable, which is surprising if you look at my YouTube channel. But I'm very bad at being vulnerable in person. So I find being vulnerable on camera is kind of a loophole to that because when I'm being vulnerable, sure, it's being showcased to millions of people. But at the moment, at the time of me being vulnerable, I'm by myself with a camera. So I'm like kind of cheating the system. I'm being vulnerable without having to be vulnerable.
It's like a loophole.
Yeah, I love it.
Tell me about the moment you made that decision, though, to do that. Do you remember, was there a time, was there a space, were you somewhere, you were at a table, were you in the back of a car? Like, when did you decide I was going to make this video?
The coming out video?
Yeah.
It's when I decided, it's when I figured out I was bisexual. I was like, okay, now I need to tell people, because it was something that's been like a weight on my shoulders for a long time, and I was keeping a secret. And I knew my mom would especially, she knew I was hiding something from her, so I knew it was time to just kind of like release that pressure. And so I just thought it was like I thought making the coming out video would be like killing a ton of birds with one stone. Like I wouldn't have to sit down every friend and sit down every family member and tell them. So that was my way of coming out to a lot of my family members and a lot of my friends, actually.
I've heard you say that before. It was like, not
Killing
just a bunch of birds.
One stone.
With one stone. How did those you didn't tell personally feel about that?
Yeah, I realized after there's...
Not that you owe them anything,
No,
by
I
the
know.
way.
No, there's some people, like, I didn't tell my sisters. My sisters found out through a video. And it's more so, I was just a little... Because they were raised very religious. Like, they were very religious.
Christian folks.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. We can say that here. It's all right.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just figuring out the right wording.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I knew that they obviously love me and support me no matter what. But if there was just a sliver of doubt that they might be uncomfortable or react like in a way that I wasn't sure of, I just decided to let them find out through the video.
And did you have to talk about that afterwards?
Yeah, they were obviously very upset by that.
Right.
They felt like they at least should be. They shouldn't find out with the rest of the world. They should find out just maybe a few seconds beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, but I get it.
Yeah, yeah, and so that's something I just had. It was like a learning I learned from that experience. So
I'm not here to bring up the bad moments.
Yeah.
But after that, you start getting thousands and thousands of more people subscribing to your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you noticed?
yeah, that coming out video blew up like nothing I've ever seen before.
Did that change the videos then you were making afterwards?
It changed in the sense that I started putting a lot of pressure on how good the videos are. Like, because I felt like a lot of the coming out video blew up because it was like, I came out and everyone's just trying to be supportive.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it was they were intrigued by the storytelling and how I made the actual video itself. And so I was like really worried that the next video was like editing wise would be like not as good or something. So that's what changed, really.
But it wasn't like, oh, I need to give way more of myself now.
No, a little bit. Initially, right after the coming out video, I was like, okay, I need to do more. I need to go bigger. And
you did. Can I play another clip?
Yeah, I did.
Take a listen.
This story only makes sense if I let you in on a little Mills family joke. Despite my incredible good looks, my family believes I'll be the last to get married. I don't get it either. Well, me being an idiot, I decided it would be a good idea to take the joke a little too far.
Wondering if you guys had any availability for Sunday?
Are we legally getting married?
So that's an Elle Mills YouTube video called I Legally
Married my sister's boyfriend.
I legally married my sister's boyfriend. Can you walk us through what we just heard?
Yeah. Essentially, this is the video I posted right after my coming out video. And I decided it would be funny because it's a joke that I'm going to be the last Mills kid to get married. That it'd be funny if I went to Vegas and legally married my sister's boyfriend. And
you did.
And that's what I did. I went in the morning and I came back at night and I was legally married to him.
And then what happens?
We tell the family, and the reaction is not as great as we had expected.
From who? From the family?
The family.
Yeah.
The friends it thought it was hilarious.
Right.
Now the family finds it funny. It was just in the moment they were a little shocked that I went that far for a YouTube video.
Because then you have to get...
Yeah, I'm annulled now. I just got recently annulled.
How'd your sister take it?
My sister actually took it better than my mom and my oldest sister.
Right.
But the sister that's actually that was dating the guy I married, she got it. She's into the YouTube world, but at the same time, obviously, she was just like, she's like, you should have faked it. But I was like, I don't like faking that. It's funnier that I actually legally did it. But
I feel like it brings up an interesting point, right? Because I know I've heard you talk about this before. It was also sort of motivated by how many views you could get, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so like it was riding off the coming out video, which like just blew up. And so I was like, I just can't post a normal video. And I was pushing myself. I was like, I have to do something so crazy, like so wild to keep it going. Because I was so driven. I was like, I don't want this to stop. I don't want the numbers to stop. So I need to do something even crazier to keep it going. And that's like something a lot of YouTubers like deal with. It's how the YouTube game works, unfortunately. I've definitely gotten better from that over the months because I've learned from my mistakes. I've seen like that's definitely the farthest I've gone for a YouTube video. But yeah, it's just like this drive in you, and it's like this you just want to be relevant, and it's like a drug. It's so addicting, like being like getting these numbers and these views that it sometimes can make people do the craziest of stuff.
I mean, it is literally a drug also, too. You know, like it releases the same neurochemicals that a lot of drugs do. I mean, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you have more empathy now for like people who will jump off a bridge or people who will let themselves be punched in the face for views?
Like, I get it. I would never do that just because I don't like anything that's physically harmful.
But you know what I mean? People who will, you know, make their kids cry on Christmas Day people who will...
I get it. Like, I understand the mindset, but like it's just like zooming out of that and looking at it from a different perspective. It's like it's kind of weird and kind of nuts. But yeah, I totally understand what every person's thinking, and so like I empathize with that for sure.
I think people who are listening to this can understand maybe where we're going, but this is a really interesting time to talk to Elle Mills about YouTube and about what we were just talking about, the pressure of getting views, the pressure of people watching you and what that does to you. Elle Mills is a YouTuber from Ottawa. I want to play another clip, so take a listen to this.
Do you guys know who Elle Mills is? She is someone who I think is pushing the boundaries of YouTube.
Elle Mills.
Elle Mills?
Elle Mills. Elle Mills.
Have you discovered Elle Mills yet?
How are you doing, Miss Mills?
I'm good. How are you?
Crazy for you. Touch me once and you know it's true.
It's not what I expected. I'm constantly alone, always unhealthily stressed, and always feel this overwhelming pressure. My life just changed so much so fast. My anxiety and depression keep getting worse and worse.
I'm crazy for you.
I've started getting panic attacks, and it's starting to scare me. I'm literally just waiting for me to hit my breaking point.
That's Elle Mills from a video called Burnt Out at 19. Tell me about what prompted you to make that video.
So the pressure from, the coming out video, so since then, like it was like slowly building up, and I think my schedule just got busier and busier because the numbers were growing really fast and my popularity was growing really fast. So April was a very hectic month for me. I was barely home. I was on tour. I was at award shows. I was at conventions doing meet and greets, and I'm making YouTube videos on top of that. And I think it all just kind of finally it hit my breaking point, and I had a very public breakdown online.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I posted this video on Twitter, and I was not okay. I was having a mental breakdown, and I flipped, and I posted it, and I had to, everyone was very concerned, so we had to take that video down, and I had to cancel 2 shows. Like, I had to take a break.
Is this the one I saw that was like, I'm so unhappy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that. There was a full like 2-minute video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I decided I just kind of like disappeared off the internet for a bit. I just said I need time off, and so I felt like making that video was like to explain myself, because that came out of nowhere. I was happy. Hi, I'm Elle Mills. Like, I was the happy Elle Mills for so long, then all of a sudden out of nowhere I was saying I'm so unhappy. So I felt like I owed my audience an explanation, even my friends and family. That's how I explained it to my friends and family as well.
So you make that video. Remember we were talking about the vulnerability loophole earlier?
Yes.
Like if you're just tuning in, we talked about how Elle was saying that when you look into a camera and you're vulnerable, it's not like doing it for a bunch of people, but it's also not doing it for a performance. Mm-hmm. You're somehow able to be more vulnerable because you're not exactly by yourself.
Yeah.
But you're not in front of a bunch of people talking about your vulnerabilities. But this video premieres at a YouTube festival with an audience in front of you. So I can only imagine that that's not the loophole.
No, that I didn't. Yeah, that was weird. It was just like I had committed to that festival beforehand, so I knew I needed to make the video. And so I decided to premiere that video because I usually make videos about what's going on in my life currently, and that was the only thing going on in my life. I wasn't gonna pretend like I was like happy, so I did premiere it, and it was it was a lot.
How many people?
God, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was lucky. I had good friends beside me, supporting me, but I did have I had an anxiety attack that night. Yeah. It was just like I just remember it was not what people expected from me, and so, I don't know. It was just it was a weird experience, but
How did people react to it?
I got a standing ovation. Like, you mean at the theater or like in general?
In general.
In general, everyone was super supportive.
Yeah.
Like in terms of my viewers, everyone was like, take your time, take your break. And I think with YouTube creators, it got a lot of people being like, same. This is what we need to talk about. We need to start talking about YouTube burnout and how YouTube, like the mental health and how it's affecting people and everything. So it was like it opened up a conversation.
It's hard for me to talk to you about it.
Why?
Because I think it's not. I mean, I feel that way too. I get panic attacks all the time.
Yeah.
Like serious anxiety attacks. Same kind of pressure just from doing something like this. Mm-hmm. Something about it, hey?
Yeah. It's like this whole entertainment industry. It's kind of. It just it makes people do, as we can see, you see it all the time, and there's kind of like I've always been for the past since before 2 years ago, I was like on the other side watching from the outside in.
Yeah.
It's just kind of being inside the world now.
Yeah.
It's like it's so weird.
And people are relying on you.
Yeah.
Fans are relying on you. You probably people working for you.
Yeah.
You're probably responsible for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think, but I honestly think a lot of the pressure comes from myself. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Oh, 100. I could not agree with you more.
Yeah, I think most of it, like I'd say 90%, just because this is all I wanted, and I wanted it so badly that I'm doing everything and anything to keep it.
Where are you now?
What do you mean?
With everything.
I'm a lot better from April and May.
Yeah.
A lot better. But definitely I still have my moments. It's like it never it's a work in progress. So it's like you're constantly working on getting better. But I definitely am working towards trying to figure all that out. But I have a great support system, friends and family. My manager's really great as well. So just being open with others and working through that has been really helpful.
I started seeing a therapist. That helped a lot.
I've tried. I did that, and then I moved, so I was far away from my therapist. I need to find a new one now.
Always really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that helped me a lot, man. It's I mean, I get it. It's really tough. And when you're as vulnerable as you are, I've never done that before. When you're, I've never done that before. I've been doing the shows my third year on the show, and I've been on the radio for 10 years. I've never done that before.
No.
That's no good.
I'm glad to be here for you first.
I'm glad. I'm really embarrassed. I never get embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed. That's very funny. She's going to cut it out. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. They look after me. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what I was going to say. Right. When you talk about these vulnerabilities, when you talk about mental illness, when you talk about anxiety, when you talk about panic, people want to come up to you and tell you their stories too, right?
Yeah. That's been hard to adjust to, in my opinion, just because I'm very bad at comforting people. I'm very bad at emotions. My friends have a problem. I'm not the friend that you go to talk about those problems. Mm-hmm. So having to have complete strangers just completely cry in front of you.
You're not equipped for that.
I'm not. But I've been learning. I've just been trying to figure out what I like when I'm in that state. Yeah. And trying to do that for that other person. But it comes with the job, really. I've made that public. And people are just trying to tell me how my video affected them. Yeah. And so it's really nice though.
But what about stuff that comes with the job? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
It's such a brave new world, that YouTube is right now. And I know that's a source of a joke that I make that, I'm 30. I'm just kind of the last generation that didn't have YouTubers in their lives. But we don't really know what it does to people. I mean, in show business like the one I'm in, we're in unions. We have rules around how much we can work. You know, we have rules around what people can do. We have rules around how much people get paid. At least at the CBC we do. You know, it's not like that everywhere. To try and stop burnout and trying to stop people from losing it, you know? Do you think it's sustainable, the expectations that are put on YouTubers right now?
I don't know. I think we're starting to talk about that right now. Like that's a topic that a lot of YouTubers are like trying to discuss.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's very sustainable, to be honest. No. It just deteriorates people's mental health so badly. And I honestly don't know how to fix that. I wish. But I think starting conversations and trying to talk it out and figure it out, that's definitely needed for sure.
I mean, I think about Twitch streamers, you know?
Oh gosh.
So if you don't know Twitch streamers, these are people who, you know, typically stream themselves playing video games. Now there's a whole other world of like IRL Twitch streamers, or they just broadcast their lives, which is a whole other I can't even get into.
Yeah, I watch some of those, honestly. And it's so wild to me.
Yeah.
That's like always being on. I could not.
I can't get into that. But there's people who stream themselves playing, you know, God of War or Fortnite for 12, 14 hours a day, every single day, and they're not making any money at it. You know what I mean? They're not getting what they want.
Yeah. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
That is so wild. Yeah, the streaming world that's a whole different ball game. Like, especially the IRL ones. Like they literally just film their lives. I've seen it's like a reality show, but like real. Yeah,
IRL, by the way, is in real life.
Yeah.
They're just filming everything they're doing all day.
It's so wild. I know this one guy, like, he gets like sniped, like where he like, because he's filming where he is, like in real time, and people call the SWAT team on him.
Yeah, he gets swatted
like 30 times. Like, there's a compilation. I'm like, that's so wild. Why do you keep doing it? And he keeps on doing it because that's all he has, and that's what. It's just so wild to me, for sure.
But can you relate to that at all? When you say it's all he has, you know. Listen, my goal.
No.
I don't want to make you feel bad.
No. I. It's like for me, like gonna sound crazy. I get it. I totally get it. But for me, at that point where it's like 30 times, I'm gonna have to stop. Like getting swatted, that's a whole different.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
Getting swatted, that's a whole different ballgame. But like, to me, I do get it, and it's so sad because I understand what's going on in that person's mind. So
what changes are you making? You've been really generous, by the way. What changes are you making?
Yeah, I've been taking time in between videos, not like pressuring myself. Like I don't have a set schedule for when I post videos. We often try to cap meet and greets, so I don't meet like sometimes meet and greets can go on for 4 hours straight. So we try to cap that. And if I feel we try to spread out meetings and stuff, but like if I'm feeling too much pressure and all that, I'm able to cancel it and no problem. Yeah. So like and also being more open with everyone. That's been key.
In the brave, the open with everyone is the point I want to make. Is that like like I said, this is a brave new world. It's kind of the wild west of the internet we're still in. The wild west of internet and personal content. People expect a vulnerability from you. People expect your foibles. People expect, your deepest secrets in some ways. And we don't necessarily always talk about what that means to the people who are sharing them. It's so incredibly brave. And that's an overused word, but it's incredibly brave that you're talking about it.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. So people say that, I don't even think of it like that.
Well, I don't expect you to, but it is.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Like someone finally needs to sit up and go, I don't know. I don't know if this is ultimately healthy.
Yeah. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
How do you feel about being that person?
It's like, I don't know. It's a new world. I'm getting used to, because I have this platform. I know when I speak out on stuff, that's what comes with it.
Yeah.
You know? But I honestly think if I'm the person that has to, start talking about it, if I'm going to be the conversation starter, I guess I'll own up and I'll do it, But yeah, it's just adjusting to it, for sure.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.